It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show, and it is Tuesday, June the 13th. Good morning. We have got a few hours to hang out. We're going to talk about a few things today. First and foremost, I just want to start the day with a very simple question, and I'm going to put this out to the three of you. Anyone jump in with an answer. Zep, Candace, Tony, whoever's ready to answer it, just go with it. Do you think I'm sexy?
Well,
Come on. Do you think I'm sexy, yes or no?
Yeah.
many ways.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. I mean, being a radio host, come on, it's sexy. I think you guys are all sexy.
I don't think we're allowed to have this discussion. I'm going to have to get human resources on the line.
We don't
Are
have
allowed
one
to
of those anymore.
Talk about
so.
human resources.
By the way, did you guys just hear what Candace said? We don't have one of those anymore. And the follow-up to that is, we'll have to improvise. And there's nothing sexier than that. I'm just saying. I'm reading a survey of sexiest professions, and I'm looking down the list, and nowhere on this list does it say radio host. And I just thought, what world am I living in?
Well, we're changing that.
Yeah.
Aren't we, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zep, Zep, you got a sexy voice for me or no?
No, I've got nothing for you this morning, man. My voice is hanging on by a thread.
But see
One
that
last
right
vocal
there?
cord, yeah.
No, you sound like the Marlboro Man. It's very enticing. Tony,
Right.
Tony, what do you got? You got anything sexy for me? When you're feeling amorous, do you go into a higher or lower register, or do you not even? Are you never even aware of these things?
I just pose.
You just
Some
see, I like
stock
that.
poses and stances.
Yeah, sure. Candace, anything?
Hello.
Oh, see, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. I do a lot of it's funny you say posing, because I think about how my face looks, and I just get a far away 1,000-yard stare as if I'm in awe. I can't believe the depth of my feelings for you. I just fake that kind of stuff. Seems to work for me. But nowhere on this list does it say radio host.
Yeah.
The 10 sexy now our friends at lovehoney.com, I say our friends.
I love that.
They're what I would call a group of sexperts. Just some sexperts. They're talking about sex and love and all sorts of things. Surveys with countless Americans. What professions are the most sexually attractive? That's the whole point of this. And again, in case you missed the lead, nowhere on the list does radio host appear.
Yeah.
However, according to, and Candace, I want to get your thoughts on this, the 10 sexiest professions. Number 1, firefighter.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. When you picture a firefighter, the worst looking firefighter is still like ripped. You know what I mean? Like, just in my mind, you don't picture like, some schlub you went to high school with over at the firehouse. You just picture like all these, And by the way, and firefighters are always, because they have so much downtime, they're like poets and painters. I mean, if you hang out in a firehouse, which I have done, they're not in there playing cards, is my point.
There's a guy who works at Firehouse Subs. Does that count?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it
They're
counts.
pretty sexy.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Making
really.
sandwiches.
no, we can absolutely widen the net as much as we want. Next on the list, builder. I guess that's any general. That's Bob the Builder, or it's
Construction worker.
or is it the guy who's cutting the checks, and is it the developer really that they mean? I'm curious about that. Police officer, that checks out. Sure. Doctor, sexiest really?
Money.
To moms.
Money.
Yeah, could be.
For females, they're into money.
Mechanic. How about that? Keeps you moving, keeps you
Yeah.
going, getting you where you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, knows how to check the oil.
Paramedic.
yeah.
Paramedic is on the list. Candace, any thoughts about an EMT?
Yeah, EMT. I was going to say that when we were talking about firefighters. I've seen a lot of hot
Yeah.
EMTs. It's like not even they have to be that hot. It's
Uh-huh.
just the fact that they are like caring for someone other than themselves.
Well,
Oh,
they're getting
nice.
paid to do it. It's
What
not
a-
like they volunteered.
Can you imagine? I've always thought about this because this is true. This isn't one of those rock myths. David Lee Roth was a practicing EMT in New York City
What?
for a time. In the 2000s, he spent like a year getting certified, and he was making runs in an ambulance. True story.
Cool.
And I've just always imagined what it's like when you call 911 and
Yeah.
looks like you got palpitations. I mean, ow! What does that mean when David Lee Roth comes in and helps you get through a crisis?
Awesome.
Next on the list, watch out, musician. Okay, all right. I didn't get radio host, but I got musician on there. Electrician, I guess. Farmer is number 9, and then lawyer. Farmer, okay, there is farmers only,
Right.
farmers match. There's all those
Yeah.
dating
Right.
services
The
for
farmers
farmers.
are very in right now, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Farmers are making a comeback.
Oh, yeah, they're very, very in right now. Some of the Yeah, biggest websites out there are women just watching farmers farm. You know, like we would watch, I don't know, college co-eds in their in their house. You know, they put the cams in there and charge guys $10 a second to watch it.
So we've gone
Yeah,
from
farmers.
girls going wild to watch this guy plant some crops.
Yeah, there's some guy in some young farmer in Minnesota making bank, and women just watch him farm.
Overalls still a thing or no?
I think he was rocking the overalls. Yeah.
Shirt off,
Now
though,
you're
I'm
talking.
sure.
All right, how about this? The 10 sexiest professions according to men. Number 1 on the list, flight attendant. Guys, come on. It's just a waitress in the sky. I mean, did we not learn that from Paul Westerberg himself?
That's exactly what we learned.
You know what their job really is to do? The job is to make sure you get off the plane when it crashes. That's like their priority. The rest is just all window treatments. I'm just saying, it's a nice chandelier, that free drink every now and again, but it's like, it's a safety position. Come on.
Yeah.
Flight attendant. What? She brings me drinks when I'm traveling. I love a woman who will bring me drinks when I travel. I'm just,
I
call
do
me
love
crazy. I mean, in the 60s, the way that was glamorized, I get it. But the modern flight attendant, and this is not a knock on flight attendants at all. I just think that's we're in a different realm here.
Well, they're friendly and they're flirtatious and they're
Okay.
available because they can hang out in any given city for the night.
Okay, never mind. I stand completely corrected.
So they're ready
That's
to party.
fantastically hot, Tony. Thank you. Nurse, I think that checks right out. Anybody who's taking care of you, making you feel better, tucking you in at night. There's a whole lot of Freudian concepts we can discuss there. Secretary, what is this, Mad Men?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think
Again,
it's-
I'm not knocking secretaries. I'm knocking the guys who are like, I like a woman who keeps my desk clean.
Yeah.
I like plenty of reminders and Post-it notes, and if you are handy with that, excuse me, do you have any whiteout? What the hell? What's secretary?
Well, just we're not very imaginative. Remember, this
I guess
is a
not.
poll. This is a poll. So
It's a
this
poll.
guy's going, secretaries? I don't know.
That's a good
what are
point.
things that women do professionally?
That's a
I
good
don't
point.
know.
Yeah, no, that's good. Let's see what else we have. Men find teachers sexy. Boy, all of this is just going back to such a younger. I think men are just still the same guy you were at adolescence. Actor. Okay, actor. That makes sense. I've Brooke Shields and Diane Lane. I go back to the late '70s, and they're both still on the list for me. So that makes sense. Police officer.
Still, even with Kevlar on. They're just hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me, my 10 years ago, 2013, the last time I toured with my former band, the Black Crowes, we played at Mississippi State University something called the Bulldog Bash on a Saturday, or maybe it's a Friday night before a Saturday football game. It's in Starkville, Mississippi, and it's just a mob, crazy town, college town before a home football game in the South. 40,000 people crammed onto a cul-de-sac, and there's a stage at the end of it, and we're playing. And we walked off the bus to go to the stage, and there were two women in cop uniforms just standing there. And they both, my first thought was they're strippers and they're going to do something, because they were both young and striking and tall, and everything about them said, they're in costume. And I walked over to one, and I just said, I actually had an actual question for somebody, and then there wasn't anyone there. It was literally I don't even remember but I had a genuine question. I laughed. I said, "Excuse me, officer," and she just looked at me. She goes, "Well, yeah," something got a real stern look on her face, and I go, "Oh, and I went,
Wait a minute.
and I went, "I'm sorry, are you actually a cop?" And she goes, "What does it look like?" And they were actually cops.
Oh, man.
And it was like they won a contest to find the two hottest co-eds at Mississippi State and give them a badge.
Oh, man.
And we walked out, and then they were just standing around, and everybody turned into the whole theme of the day. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but boy, they got some attractive cops in Starkville, Mississippi.
Yeah, no, they're out
Doctor,
there.
bartender. Okay, again, guys, maid. No,
Right.
maids are not sexy. The girl you date who puts on the French maid costume at Halloween, that's sexy. Get it
That's
right.
true.
To your point,
That is
Seth,
true,
man, we
yeah.
are just unimaginative cavemen.
Well, it's, we're base creatures. What can I say,
I guess it happens. Candace, do we have a caller who'd like to share a thought or two?
Yes, we have Rand from Mound.
Rand, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing today?
All is well, sir. What do you got for us?
Well, you talked about flight attendants not being sexy
Yeah.
and being a waitress. I was not a waitress on a plane. I'm 71 years old. I worked in the airline business for 10 years, and most of the stuff was for safety for people.
Yeah.
That's all our number one concern was. So, I might have looked sexy. I look sexy to my wife, but maybe not to other people.
I'm sure you turned a few heads back in the day, but to your point, yeah, the job is about safety at the end of the day, and that's we're all the knuckleheads who don't appreciate that. And by the way, Rand, let me ask you a question: what's sexier than keeping people safe? Nothing.
No.
See?
No. Well,
Well, yeah, I was just trying.
Here's my opinion of that, though. When you're on the plane and you're doing the safety brief,
Yeah.
and nobody's listening to you,
Yeah.
those people I won't save.
Damn.
Yeah.
Savage.
Sorry, you're not going to listen to me? Forget it.
I get it.
I'm number one on that plane right now.
were you domestic or international or both?
I was just domestic, yeah.
Got it. All right, Rand, we got to hop, but thank you for the call, brother.
Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
By the way, least sexiest job on both men and women, judges. They both agreed. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't want to sit around and be judged all day? If my wife were a judge, I would ask her to wear the robes at home.
Right?
Where's your gavel, babe? Come on, let's go. It's just me. Call me crazy.
You don't see young judges is the problem. They're all old.
Yeah, see, that's what it is, I guess. You gotta work your way up, and by that time, you look like Fred Gwynn. This is the KQ Morning Show. I'm Steve Gorman. It is Tuesday, June the 13th. We have a pre-recorded Mike Evans Hollywood Report right now.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Mike Evans. Welcome to Tuesday. I'm at my checkup for my post-open heart surgery operation, and actually, I'm feeling great, so looking forward to being back tomorrow. I had the no surprising news that I delivered yesterday about The Rock's TV show being canceled. No surprise there. However, doing a little digging, should be pointed out that The Rock's 2012 movie Journey to Mystery Island, the 2016 Moana, the 2017 film Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and last year's Black Adam all made big bucks. And he is currently shooting Red Notice for Netflix, also starring Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. And The Rock is in post-production for the Amazon-financed movie called Red One with Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, and J.K. Simmons. Boy, that Rock is a very busy guy. Little sports shorts for you. On Thursday, the first day of the U.S. golf tournament, the U.S. Open. And I have really been blessed to play on some of the greatest golf courses around the country. And I thought I had played on all the really great courses in California, but I have never played the L.A. Country Club, and that's where the tournament is being played. However, did a little digging, and man, a lot of celebrities belong to the L.A. Country Club.
Sure.
Including Larry David, Jason Bateman, Snoop Dogg, Will Smith, Adam Sandler, Justin Timberlake, Samuel Jackson, Bill Murray, Vince Gill, Justin Bieber, and others. And years ago, there was this 2-day tournament every other week at the Los Angeles Country Club that matched up Jack Benny, Groucho Marx, Milton Berle, and Walt Disney. How's that for some Hollywood history?
Damn.
Some odds and ends with summer here. Publicists say the hottest celebrity in a bikini is Sofia Vergara. Cheryl Hines has just wrapped her new movie called Popular Theory, a comedy about high school hijinks. And Cheryl has canceled all other engagements and projects so she can campaign for her husband, Robert Kennedy Jr., who, as you know, is running for president. Here's just some crap to tell you about. I never believed the story that Britney was hooked on meth. That story's floating around, but I don't believe it. I think it's crap. And I haven't heard it, but I have heard about it, that Sam Smith and Madonna's collaboration called Vulgar is so bad it's a joke, and people are laughing at it.
What?
And calling it crap. And I've always had this thing about Eva Longoria, but her last movie, War of the Worlds, is so bad it can't even get on cable. I think Eva Longoria was probably prouder of herself when she was flipping burgers at Wendy's in Corpus Christi, Texas, when she was going to high school.
Wowza.
I mean, this movie, War of the Worlds, is crap. Hey, have a great day. We will be back live tomorrow. Mike Evans, and I'll see ya.
Did he say Longoria or crap more in that report? Who's Eva Longoria? I mean, Google Eva.
I like the
Longoria.
Eva Longoria is actually Maltese for crap, apparently.
Yeah, I guess. And was
She was
the
on Desperate
bikini
Housewives.
chick he was talking about? Yeah, Desperate Housewives. Okay. And 57. That was before my time.
I think Mike Evans was contacted by some representatives for The Rock after yesterday's Hollywood Report. He felt the need to come back in and run down his box office receipts for the last decade. That was a wild one. Evans just going out deep on some of those reports. But you know what? It's always something. I absolutely never know what to expect, so I appreciate that. Speaking of not knowing what to expect, okay, let me check this out. Based on every book I've ever read and every article I've ever read, and the fact that I'm a Beatles obsessive, the band broke up in 1969. The band's announcement that they broke up came out in 1970. That's 53 years ago, and now there's a new Beatles track on the way. The Beatles, just the gift that keeps on giving. Check this out. Paul McCartney has revealed that he has created a final, as he calls it, a final song by the Beatles. It will be released later this year, and he did take advantage of AI technology. And how it worked was not unlike a couple songs the Beatles did in the mid-'90s for the Anthology Project. They found some old demos from John Lennon. Literally demos sung into a cassette tape player at his home in the Dakota in 1980 or late 70s. They extricated the vocal from an old demo track, and then Paul McCartney completed the track around it. First things first, this'll kill you if you're a Beatles fan. This is a song from 1978. The working title of this song was called Now and Then. And Yoko Ono gave this tape to Paul McCartney in 1994. It was a cassette Lennon had made, and in Lennon's handwriting, the cassette is called For Paul. Oh, wow. He wrote some songs. He was writing in 1978, and he heard some songs, and he thought, boy, Paul could really do something with these. So they were for Paul McCartney. In 1995, as the Beatles were putting together the Anthology series, whatever song we're going to get at the end of this year, that was proposed back then, but George didn't like it. And Paul said, well, we were always the democracy. George didn't dig it, so we didn't finish it. But now, with the technology being so much more advanced and with the cleaner vocal that we can use thanks to this AI again, I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then this will be the final Beatles song. And Paul's quote is fascinating to me. He said, it's kind of scary, speaking of artificial intelligence, it's kind of scary, but it's also exciting because it is the future. Wow. And that right there tells you why Paul McCartney is still Paul McCartney. Mm-hmm. The man has never he's never thought of being a man of his time. You know, like imagine the Beatles, like Zepp, you said before, well, there's a reason they didn't make Love Me Do in 1967. They were progressing rapidly, you know, from Love Me Do to Sgt. Pepper in 4 years. I mean, it's mind-boggling how quickly they evolved and continue to. And Paul McCartney's a guy who in his 80s, he's 81 years old this week. He will be 81. He's like, there's technology out there that'll help me pull John's vocal out and we can keep working and move something forward. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, he's just looking forward always.
I wonder why I said final Beatles song then.
I guess because that's the last one they have enough to really work with. I mean, if there were more, I would imagine if there were more Lennon vocals that he thought were worthy of putting, you know, that he could work with, he would have. But this was probably the last one he felt was, you know, really worth going into.
Well, yeah, but we have AI now. We don't need any of the Beatles, really, to make Beatles music.
We can just have someone write the song itself.
Right.
We can have AI do it.
Yeah.
But think about that. I mean, there's no band, there's not Pink Floyd, not Zeppelin, not anybody that if you said in 2023 there's a new track coming out in the fall, this song will be huge. It'll be streamed millions of times. Tens of millions of times, and it's a band that hasn't worked together, honestly, in 53 years.
That's amazing.
They're just in their own zone. Good to be the Beatles. All right, let's look back a little bit more. Sports history. On this day in 1970, a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates named Doc Ellis spoke to the media about what he had done the day before, which was throw a no-hitter. That's great. A pitcher for the Pirates threw a no-hitter. And on this day, the day after the no-hitter, he admitted, I was on acid. Doc Ellis of the Pittsburgh Pirates threw a no-hitter on LSD, high as a kite. That's a true story.
Yep.
Wow.
He said, I can only remember bits and pieces of the game. I had a feeling of euphoria. I was zeroed in on the catcher's glove, but I didn't hit the glove too much. I remember I hit a couple of batters. The bases were loaded 2 or 3 times, I think. The ball was really small, but then sometimes it was big. Sometimes I couldn't even see the catcher.
Wow,
Amazing.
that is
He
amazing.
threw a no-hitter on acid.
Let this be a lesson to kids out there listening that if you don't have quite what it takes, maybe you just need some acid.
Right.
Doc Ellis, by the way, after he retired, he went into rehab because he did also have a serious drinking problem, got sober, spent the last 28 years of his life just in helping people in recovery, doing the Lord's work. But while he was playing, he was something. He also, one time before taking on the Cincinnati Reds, there had been a brawl the last time the Pirates and Reds played, and his number was up. And he said, before the game, I plan to hit every last batter I face. And he walked out, and he hit the first 3 batters of the
Yes.
game. He threw 11 pitches, hit the first 3 guys, and was ejected from the game.
Amazing.
So he walked it like he talked it. God bless Doc Ellis.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 13th. Good morning. Hey, we're going to give away tickets in about an hour to see Impractical Jokers at Target Center on Thursday night. And then a little later in the show, one of the Impractical Jokers will be phoning in.
Great.
If this were the Braves from Atlanta in the 80s, you would hear a guy say, and now here's Murph. But now it's Murr. Murr's coming in. For my Braves fans out there, you know that's the Skip Carey call. And here's Murph. Murr's going to join us, what is that, 9 o'clock, I believe?
8:30.
8:30. So at 8:30 at 8 we're giving away tickets. At 8:30 we're being joined by one of the Jokers himself. That's a pretty good day. I just mentioned it's June 13th. And on this day 13 years ago, country music star, but honestly, more so breakfast sausage legend Jimmy Dean died. He was 81 years old. And it's never a bad time, but today it's especially a great time to remind everyone of the golden days of people calling 800 numbers to make complaints with companies. That was something people used to do. They actually used to call customer service and leave voicemail complaints. Zep, you shared this with me earlier, and this is my favorite thing I've heard in a very long time.
Oh, man. It was so exciting when you would get to work back in the day on a morning show and there was a new customer complaint call that had hit wherever, it'd come in on a prep service or just hit the internet. It's been a while. But this, Jimmy Dean did get to hear this call before he passed away in 2010. This was left on their corporate office line. I'm sure it made it back to him as it went viral a long time ago, 2007. A Texas fella named Randy Taylor. That's all I need to say. Here we go.
I don't know where you people come from. I don't know if you test your products. Your products are very delicious. Love your sausage for 30-something years, but I can't take and feed a family of 5 on a little 12-ounce roll of sausage. I don't mind paying you more money for your 16-ounce roll of sausage, but you don't have it anymore. You've got a 12-ounce roll, and you got 3 men that weigh over 200 pounds apiece, a woman that's a little plump, and a daughter who's 13, and you're going to try to take a 12-ounce roll of sausage and a couple of dozen eggs and feed that, it ain't going to work. And I'm not going to purchase your product anymore or ever again. And as far as your 16-ounce and maple and sage, I don't eat that. I'm not from the north. I'm a Texas man. Jimmy Dean sausage is for southern people to eat with the breakfast, with the fried eggs and the T-bone steaks. And I'm not going to buy 2 of those 12-ounce packages just because you want to downsize and charge the same price.
Incredible.
Goodbye.
So you have the breakfast sausage
Sure.
with your T-bone.
My favorite line is the first one. I don't know where you people come from. Okay, well, what does that matter? What about that? You have 3 men over 200 pounds, a woman who's a little plump, and my 13-year-old daughter. He mentions a couple dozen eggs.
Wow.
Again, there's only, last I checked, 3 dudes and an adult woman and a child. A couple dozen eggs, but he wants fried eggs, T-bone steaks to go along with that Jimmy Dean sausage. If this man is still with it, if you're putting down a T-bone and sausage and a dozen eggs a day, I can't imagine this man is still with us. He and Jimmy Dean are bitching about this in heaven, I think, at this point.
Don't you tried selling any of that maple or sage, boy. That's them fighting words down there in Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, but it gets better because now he thinks he's hung up the phone, but he has not hung up the phone.
Oh, great.
Part 2.
That little 12-ounce damn roll of sausage is supposed to feed your brother and me and you 600 pounds of men, at least. You get my point? And the 2 girls, and they put it in that roll of sausage. Son of a bitch. Somebody needs their ass kicked. Some little consumer geekaroid thought this up. Save money. Yeah, save money.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to eat, damn it.
And you thought Hank Hill was a fictional character.
I want to eat, damn it.
I guess he's not the kind of guy, not the savvy consumer who looks at the per ounce price on the shelf, you know, like when he's seeing it. They cut it down to 12 ounces, so I got about 2. That's 24. I have it perfectly sectioned. I need 16 ounces to go with my 2 dozen eggs and my T-bone. I don't need 24 ounces. I can't imagine looking around a dinner table and well, you know what? I actually can in a certain sense. Well, I can relate in a certain sense. Anytime I meet, I'm 57 years old. Anytime I meet a man, my subconscious sizes him up in terms of basketball. I just do it. I'm like, first things first, I immediately go 5'11", 6'7", whatever the height is, and then I look to see how long his arms are. It's like I'm doing this like robot, figure out his strengths and weaknesses. What does his foot speed remind you of? It's just what you do because you're always sizing up basketball players. This guy, I love the fact he sits at a dinner table and the first thing he does is just get a gross weight of people at the table.
Right.
You got 600 pounds of man here at this table. What if every family meal you were looking around like, yeah, we got about, I'm the youngest. Hey, we got 1,400 pounds of Gorman here at this table.
Earl, you're coming in a little light. I see you're tipping the scales at 189 this morning. What the hell's going on now? You better eat.
Just fantastic.
And they can vary the selection of items to serve up, too.
Oh, don't.
Got to deviate.
Oh, no. My God. My dad has eaten the same 3 meals for the last 50 years.
Really?
You try and, shove a little something, a pancake or it's eggs,
lima
it's
beans,
toast,
right?
and it's meat. Yeah, and the lima beans with whatever other meat and potatoes he's eating for dinner.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. And lunch is fried. If it's not fried, don't hand it to Dad. He will have a fried burger or a fried egg sandwich, perhaps, maybe some fried chicken. But do not try to give him anything that isn't fried. But breakfast, eggs, and then a choice of meat.
Wow.
And then, toast every morning.
Man, my dad was he did not have a wide palate himself. He liked it pretty straight. One of the weird things my dad, I remember hearing him say this, and I was so struck by it. He said someone offered him a slice of pizza, and he said that's children's food.
No.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, when I was like 12, I was like, no, it's not. I see adults eat pizza all the time.
Yeah.
That's children's food. I mean, what world are you from where you think like pizza is something you give a kid?
Cereal in the morning, staying at my aunt's when we were out traveling. We're on the road. We stopped there in PA at my aunt's place. And Dad had plenty to say about that because she was in her 30s and single. But she whips out the cereal for breakfast. You had the cereal option.
Sure.
And Dad was, it's kids' food. It's porridge for crying out loud. He'd carry on. My favorite meal was spaghetti. I love spaghetti. Although Mom's chili sauce was just the spaghetti sauce without beans, just substitute pasta. But I loved chili when I was a kid. So on my birthday, I got to have chili. That means we had spaghetti. That means we had spaghetti one day out of the year in January.
Wow.
And Dad would throw a fit. Oh, like it's one day. It's my birthday.
was it.
Oh, God. Geez,
Wow.
I'll have to starve, I guess.
It's foreign food.
Yeah, no, there wasn't
hilarious.
potatoes involved. There were no potatoes in there, but there better be some pretty big damn meatballs in there.
It's funny you said chili because chili was my special meal. Like when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I remember the first time I had a bowl of chili, I was staring at it like, this is ambrosia. This is food of the gods.
Yeah.
Why have you held out on me this long? And so that would always be my thing. My birthday's in August, and I had this conversation several times. What do you want for your birthday dinner? How about chili? No, you don't have that in the summer, honey. It's too hot. But it's my birthday. And I would get it, but every time I had to go through the gatekeeper.
Perhaps we could turn up the air in the house or something like that. And
whatever it takes.
Right.
Tony, was there? What was the childhood? What was the meal? What was the ultimate? Like, oh, this is good living.
Yeah, birthday. I got buttered noodles shells with a little pepper, buttered shells.
God, that sounds so
It does sound good. Everything sounds good to me. Candace, was there one thing that stuck out to you as a kid? Like, this is the best food ever?
Yeah, Red Lobster, just crab, man. Crab it up.
Oh, geez, sorry. We were poor kids out there on the farm.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
right.
I was fortunate enough to grow up in Maryland where if you wanted crabs, you just went down to the river and
Oh, how
caught
nice
them
for you.
yourself.
Nice.
Yeah, crabbing along the way. So, but I'm with you on crabs being good living.
Crabs.
Yeah, crabs are pretty special. Speaking of which, hey, I grew up in a town called Severna Park, Maryland, home of Pat Sajak.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary now, 40-year host of Wheel of Fortune, Pat Sajak, lives in Severna Park, Maryland, and goes to L.A. for like 1 or 2 days a month to shoot a month's worth of Wheel of Fortunes. He just announced he's stepping down
40
after
years.
40 years with Vanna White spinning that wheel.
Yeah, but he works like 3 days a month.
Yeah,
so
yeah, so it's-
really 10 years.
Not even. Yeah. Good gig if you can get it.
Yeah, not bad.
We're still trying to figure out who the new host of Jeopardy is. They had that whole thing. I gotta think that if Wheel of Fortune learned one thing from Jeopardy, it's like just assign a host and just stick with it. Don't go back and forth.
Right.
Don't waffle. Could you host Wheel of Fortunes up? Could you do it?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
shoot me the dough. I mean, I couldn't in that. At some point, I would just go, God, you're an idiot.
That's what
And
I'm
then
getting at.
they
Like,
would
you
go,
have to
"No."
sit there and smile when people are like,
Yeah.
like there's one letter left and it's obvious, and they're still like, I'd like to buy a vowel, please. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, it's, I'd like to think I could for the dough. I
Yeah.
tried to get away with country radio. I thought, well, I can do country radio. There's some
really?
good dough. I can do country.
Yeah, no.
Out in Montana. Everybody listens to country. I can do country radio. What's so tough about Waylon and Willie and the boys, right?
So no, not exactly.
No, not exactly. I lasted about a week. And the program director comes in. He goes, Brian, we have to assume that if somebody's listening to our radio station, they like country music. They don't sit through 20 minutes of nonstop country music to listen to you badmouth it. I'm like,
that's
I wasn't
great.
badmouthing it. I was just, trying to be critical. They can do better. And I do love some country music, but let's be honest.
Sure.
The country,
It's not the
popular
same.
country radio, it's crap.
I had
to quote Mike Evans, it's crap.
I had a summer where I was both Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy champion of the world. I lived with my brother the summer of '84, but I got home from work every day before he did, and I watched Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy on one channel, and 2 hours later, the same episodes played on another channel.
No.
And I spent the entire summer just whipping his
hilarious.
ass at both. And he was like in awe of me. And it got to the point where for final Wheel of Fortune, he'd go, here's your clue. And I'd go, doo-doo-doo-doo. And I'd go, lasagna. And it would be before they'd turned over one letter. And he's like, what the hell?
You're a magician.
Yeah. And finally, literally the last day as I was going to move out, I just said, oh, by the way, all summer long, and he was so angry. He just couldn't
hilarious.
believe it. Yeah, he just wore me out for that. Candace, do we have a caller?
Yes, Neil from Ellsworth, Wisconsin.
Neil, good morning,
Chili.
sir.
Morning, how are you guys?
All is well here, brother.
Hungry.
What do you got for us?
So I met my wife in the military, and she was from New Mexico, the chili capital of the world,
Okay.
and I'm from Minnesota, and we were living together, and she goes, how about chili for tonight with dinner? And I go, great, sounds good, right?
Yeah.
So we sit down, and there's a bunch of fried chicken, fried potatoes, some kind of vegetable, and I go, where's the chili? Because I'm thinking that's a lot to eat, chili, fried potatoes, and all. That's 2 meals.
Mm-hmm.
And she sets this little bowl of red stuff down. She goes, that's the chili. I go, no, there's no meat. There's no beans. There's nothing. She goes, no, that's red chili. That's chili. And I go, no, where's the beans and meat? She goes, oh, you mean chili con carne. And I go, oh, that's my lesson when I learned that there's a difference between chili and chili con carne.
Yeah.
Well, was it good, though?
It's real good. I like green chili better than red chili.
I bet
Gotcha.
a little spicy, perhaps.
Yeah.
it's a little spicy. Yeah.
I had I had a football coach, and I was killing some time walking around Woolsey up to no good. Before the football game, he was married a Mexican lady, and said, "Why don't you come over for dinner?" Same deal. We get there, and I'm like, "What's the bowl of soup?" He said, that's chili. I'm like, there's no meat in there. There's no, it's just, soup.
Exactly.
But I spent a lot of that football game in the porta potty out past one of the end zones.
As it happens.
Yeah, I had to dash there a couple of times. You try and get into a porta potty with football pads on.
Yeah, not good.
No, it was a long day. It was very, very spicy, but good.
That's awesome.
That's when you pray for the ice cream.
That's it, exactly. Hey, thanks for the call, brother. We appreciate you listening.
Yeah, out there, Ellsworth.
Yeah, thank you.
That's chili feed territory. I thought it might be a chili feed story. We had the big chili feed every year. First weekend of September out there, Ellsworth, Wisconsin. Cheese, curds, and chili.
We had a bus driver once, a guy named Hoot. Hoot had been Ernest Tubbs' drummer and bus driver for years.
Nice.
And his wife, Angie, Hoot and Angie were co-bus drivers. They came as a package deal. And we were driving across the state of Montana one day, and Hoot said, "I'm going to make some chili." And he pulled out a crock pot, and he had all the fixings on the bus. And we looked at this guy. We were like, "Oh, that's awesome." And at one point, he was browning the meat and the whole thing. And one of the guys in the band said, "Oh, what kind of beans do you use?" And he said, "I didn't say wussy stew. I said chili." Actually, he didn't say wussy. I can't say the word he said. But it was like beans and he was like, you would have thought, someone had offended his mother when someone asked, "What beans do you put in chili?" He was like, no. This is meat, son. That's it.
Oh, yeah. I learned a few things down there. They used to have a big chili feed in downtown Minneapolis. I got to judge one year, and
white chili, green chili, red chili, anything that's called chili, I will absolutely take it. I'll take it with crackers. I'll take it with chips. I'll take it over spaghetti noodles. I don't care. Just give me some chili.
Like stat now. I want some damn chili now. God, I want to get on it. All right. Oh, we got to get moving along here. I'm going to try and track down some chili somewhere in the radio station. That's scary. A new survey, you guys asked, would you rather be 30% smarter or 90% more attractive? And the survey says, we'll tell you at 7:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 13th. In about 30 minutes from now, we're going to be giving away tickets to see Impractical Jokers at the Target Center on Thursday night. And then in about an hour from now, one of the Impractical Jokers, Murr, will be joining us. So we've got a lot going on in the very near future. Right now, we want to get your thoughts on a poll. And I would like to ask all of us here, first foremost, be honest. Would you rather be 30% smarter or 90% more attractive?
Ooh, 90%.
Whoa.
90%. Okay, let's just cut right to it. Everybody is going to say, "Oh, I'd rather be smarter," and everybody's thinking, "I'd rather be more attractive." It's just, you say one thing, you mean the other.
Right.
30% smarter or 90% more attractive? 90% more attractive means by no matter where you're starting from, you're damn good looking is how I'm going to interpret that.
That fixes all the flaws.
30% smarter just means you're negligibly smarter in ways that unless you go around advertising it, no one's going to know. So what's the damn point?
Yeah, but I'm at that age where what would being better looking do for me?
Let me tell you. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I'm trying to think. What can I possibly benefit from being better looking?
Just feeling better when you're on public transit, knowing all the folks are staring at you. I don't know. You're in an elevator and
it's for jerks.
I'm just saying, anywhere you go where there's strangers, you're in a store, you're waiting in line, you realize, like, look who's checking me out.
I feel like I'm just well past all of that. In fact, don't check me out. What are you looking at? Look in front.
Okay.
Look at somebody else.
Well, what good's getting 30% smarter going to do for you?
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping that I've got a lot of deficiencies in my life, a lot of potholes in my life, and I think that being smarter might, fill some of those for me. Like, for example, it feels a little late, but, I always thought I might want to start a retirement fund or something like that.
Sure.
But I haven't Googled it yet. Or, I'm going to get on that in my 60s, I think, or something. I still do a lot of stupid things, I'm told.
Okay.
And,
all right.
But better looking, first of all. I don't know how you improve, but better looking. I'm just at that age in my life where, so what?
Candace, are we kidding ourselves? What do you think?
I don't know about this one.
No?
I feel like I want to be smarter because, especially with you guys just know, I told Steve the other day that you know more words than I do.
Okay. All right. But but here's the thing, though. There's all these studies and social not polls, but research that shows, there's certain things that just get you ahead in life that make no sense. Height is one of them.
Right.
Good looks is another. There's such a... You know how, like, they say there's that study in hockey in Canada where the best hockey players are all born in the first quarter of the year, like back in the old days, because they literally just went by birthday. Like, you were divided in youth hockey by when you were born. So obviously the older kids, like a bunch of 7-year-olds, if you're 6 months older than someone else at the age of 7, that's a huge difference in your development.
You'll dominate.
And at some point, somebody looked at all the best players in the NHL and goes, why is every great Canadian hockey player born in the first quarter of the year? And then they went all the way back to youth hockey and realized that the kids born early in the year have these advantages. So they're just given better coaching. They get to advance. It starts systemic from the ground up.
Right.
If you're just good looking, you just get stuff, man. I mean, it's just how it works. People just give you free reign in ways that the average schmo-looking guy doesn't get. And, I mean, I'm saying this. One of the guys I went to school with from 6th grade through 12th grade, by any conventional measure, is a really, really handsome kid, and he always was. And as 8th graders, we were aware of it. We're like, teachers are nicer to him. You could just see it.
Yeah, they'll fawn over you.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. If I was a younger man,
right,
definitely better looking, because life is paved for the better looking person. Just down to, you talked about strangers checking you out or whatever, but just about interactions with anybody, whether it just be over the counter, at work, just anytime you interact with anyone ever, life is going to be easier. We see poll after poll and evidence of this all the time, that life is just easier for better-looking people. However, I mean, you get to a certain age. Is anybody really good-looking past 50? Really? I mean, you can be, obviously, women are beautiful, men are handsome past that age, but what does it get you? Because it's falling off. Everything's falling off.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, of course, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You look around, but I just think it's funny that the number of people who immediately go, oh, no, brains are better. And the younger people that say that, I'm like, really?
No.
I mean, and of course, I also go to a Smiths lyric. Not that I'm going to base any life decisions on what Morrissey thinks about the world, but fame can play hideous tricks on the brain, but still, I'd rather be famous than righteous or holy any day. It's just a lyric from a Smith song, but that's the first thing that came to mind. It's like, yeah, but fame's great, being beautiful's great. I was at a truck stop in Sweden once at like 2 a.m. Pulled over on tour in a truck stop, and there were 3 women working behind the counter. And all 3 of them would come to America and immediately be considered like models. They were just gorgeous. This classic, they were like right out of what is the genetic lottery winners for Nordic beauty right here. And they're just working the overnight shift at a truck stop without any thought about it. And I was like, you would never see women these are like not just pretty. Oh, they're cute. These are staggering beauties. And I'm like, in America, they would never work at a gas station. And they would never work at a gas station at 2 a.m. It just wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't have to work if
somebody would have just the way life goes. There would have been advantages given to that. So I guess ultimately what I would take would be I'd like to be a whole lot smarter and a whole lot more handsome. How's that? Just both. Give me both.
All. Yeah, you want it all.
Yeah,
Good.
why not?
The percentage changes it, because my first reaction, of course, was I'd rather be smarter than you can figure out ways to be better looking. But 90%, you got to pounce on that.
I feel like if it's about fixing my ailments, then I'm gonna go for the attractive one. Like if I could, I feel like if I can get, they could fix my weird feet. I would never have to shave my, whatever
I think
anymore.
you can apply the 90% wherever you want to apply
Okay,
it.
then I'm in.
You're in charge.
How would be better looking mean you wouldn't have to shave?
Well, just like things like that. Like if I never had to shave again, or I never had to get my hair, cut cute again, or
okay, you know what?
Things like that. I had to work out again.
Let's just change it to: would you rather be 30% smarter, or would you rather be, in your opinion, physically perfect forever?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, yeah, physically perfect.
All right,
great.
I'm
going to change my answer.
Perfect.
I'll take physically perfect.
You can't change your answer.
Well, I didn't really have an answer anyway.
There was a time in my life when I remember actually saying the words, "Boy, what I would give to never have a hangover." I mean, just like I'm just thinking back, like for some reason, like because I would have paid money for that. Like, how do you? Because I knew guys who drank all the time and they never had. I mean, of course, they were what you call alcoholics now, and I was like, wow, you're never hungover. And then I realized, oh wait, that's actually not a good thing.
You just have to drink more, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. And I think of that because in Edgewater, Colorado, a gentleman went into a Thai restaurant and he had a few cocktails, and at the end of the night, he was in such a good mood that he paid on a $60 bill. He left $1,088 in cash on the table. $60 dinner bill, and he had such a good time with the wait staff. He left $1,088. The staff celebrated. They all split the money. The owner was thrilled to see his staff so happy. Dude comes back the next day, speaking of hangovers, and says, "Hey, I was in here last night, and I was really hammered. And I thought all those $100 bills were ones.
Are you idiot?
I thought they were singles. No. I was just leaving a normal tip.
Nope. He knew what he had in his wallet.
Exactly. If someone was that drunk, he wouldn't have been able to walk out of the bar, for crying out loud.
He asked for the tip back, and the owner said, okay.
What?
And he gave it back.
No.
Really?
Yeah. And then the guy was so happy to get his money back that he then gave $100 back to cover. So it ended up being a $40 tip on a $60 bill. But it's not quite the $1,800 tip the staff originally thought they got. And to your point, thank you for saying that. I've never been that drunk where I thought a $100 bill was a single. And I never was so drunk that I forgot that I left the house with $1,000 in my pocket to begin with.
Yeah, you know what's in your pocket.
Restaurants don't let you get that drunk anymore. I mean, at some point there's a cutoff where if you're slobbering and drunk and you can't, figure out the difference between a $100 and a $1 bill, they wouldn't have done that. I don't think most responsible places wouldn't, but you got to learn your drunken mistake, man. We've all woke up the next day and went, I spent how much money? Oh my God, it's all gone. I can't believe for the entire table, I'll get this one. But you got to pay for that, man. You can't go back and ask for it back. There's no gimme backs.
Yeah, no, there's not gimme backs, but it's always an important reminder. Curb your drunk self when in public.
Yeah.
And sometimes also when you're ordering an Uber or a Lyft, make sure, because you're being responsible because you don't want to drive drunk, make sure your driver's not drunk. Or even more importantly, make sure it's actually an Uber driver. You hear the occasional horror story of someone gets in the wrong car.
Yeah.
Someone's posing as an Uber driver. This is not that. This is from Arlington, Virginia over the weekend, 2:20 a.m., 3 people order an Uber. A car pulls up a few minutes later to where they're standing, and they just assumed, oh, that must be our Uber. They go open the door. They recognize that the driver, a 64-year-old gentleman named Michael Monroe, is not only very drunk, he's also buck naked driving around Arlington, Virginia.
As you do.
Arlington, Virginia is essentially Washington, D.C. You're just right across the river, so you're in the nation's capital. This guy's driving around at 2:20 a.m. naked and drunk. And when he notices that people are getting into the backseat of his car, that's when they find out, okay, 2 things we know. He's drunk, he's naked. Oh, and the third thing, he has a hatchet under his seat, which he pulled out and started swinging at the people who thought he was their Uber driver.
Forgot his pants, remembered the hatchet.
They jumped out. They escaped injury. They called the police. The dude was arrested eventually for DUI and disorderly conduct. So let's just recap. Drunk, naked, hatchet swinging.
Yes.
Not the ideal Uber driver. And of course, he actually wasn't an Uber driver. But again, the point is always check the license plate.
Yes.
Make sure you're getting into the right car.
Let's stress that again. Check the license plate, boys and girls.
Ever driven a car naked for any reason ever? Even for 5 seconds?
I've been driving with my pants down, I guess. I mean, a little happy road fun out there.
But I mean completely nude head to toe.
Nope.
Tony? Yeah,
Mr. Are you serious?
Yeah,
a streaking night.
I knew that was happening.
Yeah, chased off out of a skinny dipping thing once, but I was quickly dressed in the back seat. I was able to grab enough clothes, but no, not completely naked.
Tony, were you on your way to, or were you running from a streaking scene?
We were going from place to place. It was a multiple streaking adventure.
God, that is incredible. Tony for the win, as always.
Car full of nudes.
The streaking tour.
Golly, there's just something about you and your streaking past that's forever really, really hilarious to me.
One of our friends got in trouble, though, as he dropped him off at his house. And his dad was watching out the window. It was really late at night. And he got in trouble the next day. He's like, "What are you doing in a car with a bunch of naked people?"
No.
How do you explain that?
Well, these streaking events weren't going to streak themselves.
Right.
I don't know. What's the line?
Yeah, there's a time in every family where you just quit looking out the window. Mm-hmm. You don't want to know what's going on out there. You just listen for the door. All right, they're in the door. We're good to go. Right now on the Maple Grove Lock and Safe Talk and Text line, callers 972-651-989. Rock, we're playing Alexa Theater for a chance to win tickets to Impractical Jokers coming up Thursday night. Target Center. Tickets provided by Target Center. Dig this, the runner-up prize today. A couple of tickets to the KQ Karaoke Cruise Friday night. Stillwater Riverboats. Top prize in the karaoke competition. Tickets to Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks. November 10th at U.S. Bank Stadium. Custom Billy Stevie football. And a nice fancy trophy. Prize provided by Stillwater Riverboats. 651-989-ROCK. Dial up. Good luck and hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 13th. Good morning. This Thursday night at the Target Center, the Impractical Jokers will be live and in person. And right now, we are going to give two callers a chance to win tickets to see that very show. We're going to have a winner and we're going to have a runner-up. And the runner-up will also walk out with a parting gift. That will be tickets to the KQ Karaoke Cruise Friday with Stillwater Riverboats. What a game we're about to play.
Wow.
Impractical Jokers tickets, KQ Karaoke runner-up tickets, the cruise, that is. And, Tony, which game will our contestants be competing in?
It's prizes galore on this fun venture. It's Alexa Theater time. Alexa is multi-talented and puts her acting talent on display here. With Impractical Jokers tickets on the line, we'll turn to two giants in comedy. So Alexa will be reading lines, and you tell us, is the line from the movie The Joker or from The Simpsons' beloved Krusty the Clown?
Wow, what a combo. The Joker or Krusty the Clown. I like it. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Alexa Theater, an old favorite around here. Candace, who will be contestant number one?
You have Tammy from Browerville. Browerville.
Browerville. Tammy.
She's from out of town.
Tammy, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you as drunk as Candace?
A little bit.
Oh, that a girl. Glad to hear it. Are you ready to play Alexa Theater?
I'm sorry. I'm on Highway 10 heading to Duluth, and you're kind of blasting in and out on me.
Uh-oh. Well,
now I can hear you.
Okay, well, then we'll give it a shot. You've got to be able to hear some audio here. So I'll get out of the way. Tony will lead you down this path.
All right, dear, we're going to play sound clips, and you tell us, is it a clip from the movie The Joker or from The Simpsons' Krusty the Clown? And it's Alexa will be delivering these fine lines. Are you ready to go ahead? Can you hear okay?
I'm ready, yep.
Hands on the wheel, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
I'm passenger.
Oh, we'll do it anyway. Annoy them.
Yeah, right.
All right, here's your first clip. Give this a listen.
90% of success is showing up on time. Sorry, I'm 4 hours late.
Did you hear that okay?
I did. I think that's from The Simpsons.
Nope.
No?
Sorry, that's Krusty the Clown.
Well, she said it's from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Well, here, let me...
Hang on.
Yeah.
Wow.
You joker.
Oh, for crying out
Not
loud.
from the Joker, but from Krusty the Clown from The Simpsons. So the judges have overruled, and that is a correct answer.
Thanks for stepping in. Wow, how embarrassing. I have too many buttons to push, and I'm a buffoon.
It's so funny. I asked if Candace was drunk when Tony's actually the drunkard of the show.
Don't just judge me. I'm in perfect control.
Maybe Tony should have his hands on the wheel 10 and 2.
Wow. Damn. A little attitude.
I like this. Tammy's getting a little salty.
Way to go, Tam.
On her way to Duluth. She's got no time for your shenanigans. All right, number 2. Let's do it.
Well, no one's laughing now.
The Joker.
Very good.
Man,
Tammy's rocking it.
nothing Joker about this.
All right, Tam, here's your next one.
I'm not the kind of dad who does things, or says stuff, or looks at you, but the love is there.
That's got to be The Simpsons.
Yes. I know that you love that, but the love is there. Here's your next one, Tam.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a f***ing comedy.
Be the Joker.
Yeah. Remember when they dropped that F-bomb on The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Let's hope.
All right, got one more for you,
Yeah, right.
young lass.
Okay.
That's great.
The Arctic Circle, or as I call it, my wife's side of the bed.
Rodney Dangerfield.
That's got to be The Simpsons.
All right, Tam, I think she only missed one. Right?
Oh, crap.
Did
she miss one?
She didn't miss.
You missed one.
No, you
I missed one. Yes, penalize me.
So were there if there were 4 of these, then Tammy just won 4 for 4.
Yes.
Well done, Tammy.
Yay!
Man, that is fantastic.
Yeah, good job. I kind of want you to lose, though, because I want you to go on the cruise with us because you seem really fun.
Well, these are not necessarily mutually exclusive, but we'll get into that in a moment. For now, though, Tammy, we're going to put you on hold. Well done. We're going to see who contestant number 2 is.
We have Paul from Prescott, Wisconsin.
Paul, good morning.
Good morning, Steve. And Candace, I am really fun. If I get the consolation, you'll love having me on that cruise.
Okay.
Guess
all
we'll
right.
see.
I like Paul waving the Paul flag right out of the gate, man.
Awesome.
That's strong. All right, you ready to play some Alexa Theater?
I sure am.
Let's do it.
All right, fun, Paul. Here's your first one.
For my whole life, I didn't know if I even existed. Well, I do, and people are starting to notice.
I'm going to say the Joker.
Nicely done.
You are correct, sir.
He didn't tell a lot of jokes in that movie, did he?
Not so many.
Kind of a dark sense of humor. All right, here's your next one.
All I have are negative thoughts.
I'm going to say the Joker again.
Hey, I could see Krusty saying that,
Yeah.
late at night. All I have is negative thoughts.
You do that pretty well, Steve.
I've never even tried it. First ever Krusty the Clown impersonation. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to retire undefeated. That hurt my throat.
Not bad. All right, here's your number 3.
There are only 2 rules in TV. Don't swear. And don't whip it out. It's not rocket science.
I'm going to go Krusty.
Yeah. Only one of those applies to radio.
Gosh,
Right.
yeah. Thank God.
Number 4.
I played hardball with Hollywood. The closest I will ever come in my life to playing a sport.
That's got to be Krusty.
It is
These are
indeed.
great lines. Here's your last one, sir.
I work like I drink. Alone. But with a monkey watching me.
I feel like that sometimes, too. I'm going to go Krusty.
Yes, you did very well.
Wow. All right. So we got a couple people that just ran the table, if I'm not mistaken. No misses for Tammy, no misses for Paul. Well played, both of you. What that means is it's time for sudden death overtime. And Tony, what are we going to do about this?
Our tiebreaker, let's see, a comedy classic, the traditional pie in the face, is the focus of this tiebreaker today. So the UK's Barry Rigby secured the title of world champion pie eater this year by scarfing down an entire meat and potato pie in how many seconds?
Wow. Tammy, you guess first. How many seconds for that meat and potato pie?
I'm going to say 15.
15 seconds without hesitation. I like that. Paul, what do you think?
I'm gonna say 10.
10 seconds. Wow. What's the answer, Tony?
The answer is 35.4 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means Tammy is going to see Impractical Jokers Thursday at the Target Center. Congratulations to you, Tammy. Paul.
Thank you.
Paul, who came in strong, letting us all know he is also pleasant, wonderful company. We'll be on the KQ karaoke cruise Friday with Stillwater River Boats. That's awesome job for both of you. Congrats, Paul.
Congratulations, Tammy. Have fun at Jokers, but I'll be on the cruise on Friday.
Fair enough.
Hey, Tammy, you can still go. They're only $25.
Oh, okay. That's great to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know that we might see both of you. We'll definitely see you, Paul.
Yeah.
Tammy, have a great time at the Jokers tomorrow, Thursday night. Well done, both of you. Cheers. What a great game that was.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. Speaking of the Joker, quick basketball note. Oh, by the way, Jokic, the center for the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, the Serbian center, not only is he easily now proved his case that he's the best basketball player in the world with his MVP in the finals performance last night. The Nuggets eliminated the Heat in 5 games. By the way, just in case you're wondering what he did in the NBA playoffs, he led all players in points, rebounds, and assists for the entire playoffs.
There's nothing else he could have done.
There's literally nothing else he could have done. As I've said several times and will say now for the final time this season, if you're not watching the NBA anymore for any reason, because you're like a lot of people I know who say, I don't like the way they play now. No, you will like the way this guy plays. The Denver Nuggets are sitting in the pole position for next dynasty. He's the oldest guy on the team. He's 28. He's the oldest significant player. They have 3 young stars. And if that team stays healthy, that team will stay in the winner's circle. Great to see them punch their ticket. 47 seasons of Denver Nuggets basketball, and they finally got the ring.
Don't you think he's probably the greatest basketball player that's ever played the game professionally? Murr of Impractical Jokers will join us at 8:30. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 13th. On Thursday night at the Target Center, the Impractical Jokers will be on hand. As you may have heard if you were just listening, we just gave away a couple tickets. And now we are joined by James Murray, or as you may know him, Murr, from the show itself is on the horn. Murr, good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
All is well on this end, my man. Do you have any idea what you'd be doing if this whole thing hadn't taken off? This is the Tenderloins to Impractical Jokers, a comet-like explosion over the last 10, 15 years. What would be going on if this hadn't hit?
If it hadn't hit, I feel like I'd either be dead or I'd still be doing the same thing I was doing, which is unemployed.
Okay, a solid answer, grounded in reality. I mean, you guys had, correct me if I'm wrong, but you started, the Tenderloins, you were doing comedy shows together. You started doing sketches and really grew an audience posting stuff online in the early days of YouTube and MySpace and stuff. I know a lot of people that all tried to do things like that, but none of them got anywhere. You guys got really, you guys exploded. Did you have any confidence in the early days of YouTube and MySpace that would lead somewhere?
Yeah, you have to understand, we're incredibly handsome men.
Sure.
And so I think when America saw us on TV, they saw 4 middle-aged white guys from Staten Island. They're like, yes, this is what we need at this time and place.
Sure.
And we just hit it at the right time.
There's not enough Staten Island in the cultural landscape at any given time. I assume.
Not. It's like we needed 10% more cowbell. Right. America needed 10% more Staten Island.
As a Staten Island native, what is Staten Island? Like, a lot of people understand. I know it a little bit. I've spent a lot of time in New York. But what is it a suburb? Is it a redheaded stepchild? What do you see Staten Island as in terms of New York City?
I see Staten Island as a great place to get pizza and bagels.
It's the water.
And that's about it. But it was like growing up, if you watch Stranger Things, that's what it was like growing up. That was for us. Where your mom said, come home, by dark. She didn't know where you were going, who you're spending time with, and also your friends were breaking into, like, nuclear facilities and stuff. Yeah,
it's great. So a couple dudes, a few guys from Staten Island get together and start, making each other laugh. I guess is it really that simple? Like, I know when a lot of bands get together in high school, just out of high school, and you meet and you all like the same records. Is it the same kind of thing with comedy? Do you guys just find immediately an overlap of what made you laugh?
That's actually the honest, just way we make the show. Is I don't try to make anyone else laugh other than my friends. They're the funniest guys I know. So if they're laughing, I know that most people will probably be laughing too.
And that's what makes us laugh too. My brother and I love watching it, and it's like when you guys start laughing at each other and laughing with each other, that's what makes us laugh.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the secret of the show.
Yeah, wow. It's just so simple that no one else has ever figured out how to do it to quite the same level with quite the same success and consistency as you guys. Keep it simple. And to your point, yeah, you know it's funny. You know your friends are funny. That's pretty much all it is. So when you guys – go ahead, sorry.
We can't make it complicated. We're not smart men. We have to keep it very, very simple to even understand it. So
Simple, handsome men. It's a recipe for success.
You guys are getting some help from celebrities these days. You brought in celebrities, kind of part of the new format here since season 9.
Yeah, we've had some really fun ones. I mean, we'd heard for years that Post Malone was a fan of the show, and so he came on the show, and it was instant chemistry. I mean, legit, him and his father have watched the show for years.
That's
he
great.
started watching when he was like 12 years old, which is crazy.
I know. It's you've got it's turning into another generation. Yeah, and his dad is absolutely phenomenal. Well, what about the drive? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying this drive. I don't know how many drives are on the tour. I was looking at it on the website. It's drive tour. You guys are back at the Target Center on Thursday night. What's the format of this particular stage show you guys are bringing back to town?
If you're a fan of Impractical Jokers, you got to come to the live show. It is awesome. It's like a night hanging out with your best friends from TV. It's a stand-up comedy show. We tell stories from the TV show, from our lives. We show videos you can't see on TV that we shot just in the live tour. And the entire live tour ends with me finally telling the story of my wedding.
What?
I got married in the fall 2020, and we've been sitting on this story for 2.5 years. But do you remember like 2.5 years ago when Smash Mouth fired the lead singer?
Yeah. He kind of went nuts. He lost it.
It's because of my wedding. Like,
what?
It's possibly because of my wedding. Smash Mouth was the band at my wedding, and we tell the whole story on stage, but he very likely left the band because of my wedding.
No kidding. That's a juicy tease.
Yeah. But now they've got a great new lead singer, and they're awesome. But, just so you know, you'll hear what happened at my wedding the night of the show.
Depending on your feelings for Smash Mouth's music, people are either really glad you got married or really wish you hadn't. That's fantastic.
I mean, I'm a massive fan. It's my wife's favorite band, and I'm a massive fan. And we've heard for years they were fans of the show because they came into the wedding, but it didn't go quite according to plan.
I was going to say, that's not, every bride's dream usually doesn't involve my favorite band played at my wedding, and then they broke up. That's awesome. It's fantastic. Tony.
Murr, first of all, I want to thank you for such a wonderful show. It's one of the favorite things that when we go on a family vacation, we'll sit around with the kids in the hotel because True TV is always running some marathon, and it's the perfect thing that we can all share. I have a question, though. After years of cracking each other up for so long, do you ever get to the point where you're like, oh, Sal is doing that thing again? How do you keep it fresh? Because it comes across so genuine.
I think the expression is, with friends like these, who needs enemies?
Okay.
I think we're also at the point, I'm 47 years old. Like, I can't make new friends at this point. Like, no one's going to have me. I'm too formed in my ways. So, and I've been friends with them since I was 13. So what am I going to do? I think the way we keep it fresh is we agreed from day one if we weren't doing new stuff and creating new material and like having fun with it. We stopped doing it, and we're still having fun. And I think that adding celebrities now adds a whole new dynamic to the show we never had before.
Mm-hmm.
We're twisting the format in new, different ways. The end of season 10, which comes up later on this fall, we actually, for the first time, punished someone other than ourselves. Joey Fatone loses the episode, and we put him through hell. It's great.
Man, that is awesome. We're talking with Murph from the Impractical Jokers. They're going to be at the Target Center on Thursday night. Greatest tease I've heard in a while, the wedding that got a singer fired from his own band. You'll get the full story Thursday night. You guys sold out Madison Square Garden. You did 6 nights at Radio City Music Hall. And again, as a bunch of kids from Staten Island, there's got to be, I can't imagine anything better or that felt cooler than to walk out in those hallowed halls and go, yeah, I guess this is working for us. I mean, family there, friends, it must have been mind-blowing.
I have a tattoo on my ankle right now. I'm looking at it. It says MSG 11/9/2017, which is Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
11/9, November 9th, 2017. It was, dude, I got to tell you, we did a show 13 years ago, right before Joker started, and 2 people bought tickets to see the show. 2 people.
Yeah.
And they spent $5 a ticket, and so we lost like $50. The theater cost us $65 to rent. So we lost $55 on the night.
Oh yeah,
we split it 4 ways. That's what you do. And then 2017 sold out the Garden, and I took the subway up to the Garden because I'm not a jerk. It's the fastest way to get around in Manhattan, you know. So I took the subway up in my suit. I come out of the subway on 7th Avenue, and nobody told us that the side of the Garden was going to say, I have our faces on it and say sold out. And I literally started crying, like tears. It was wild. As a New Yorker, you can imagine the impact that has.
Of course.
You know?
That's incredible. That's something so few. I mean, in a city full of dreamers, very few people get within a million miles of that. That is awesome. So is it Yankees or Mets for you?
I was raised Mets, but truly, I don't give a damn.
Spoken like a true Mets fan.
You know. I speak for all Mets fans when I say I don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. That's awesome. Murr, it is a pleasure to have you on the show, man. Thursday night at the Target Center, Impractical Jokers, bringing, and by the way, Candace, you and your brother will be attending. That's correct?
Yeah, we're stoked.
Candace is very thrilled. We've all watched the show for years. It's great to chat with you, man. Thanks and congrats on all your success.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great morning, and I'll see you on Thursday, Candace.
Woo!
Woo! Right on. Thanks, Murr.
Take care. Bye-bye.
If any of us think back to your 3 best friends from high school, and then imagine, the whole thing actually working, clicking,
it's the best.
I started a band once with a friend from high school, and it lasted a couple gigs. It's like right away it doesn't work, it doesn't go somewhere. You meet new people, you move on. And I look at comedy troupes just like a band. It's the same. Any comedy troupe you meet, if you talk to them about it, it's all the same stories. You're just one's playing music, one's doing sketches or improv. But, the idea that you're true, just your buddies, think back to, if I think back to 11th and 12th grade.
Yeah.
And the 3 guys that immediately pop to mind, it's inconceivable that we would be working in any realm together all these years later.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is just like, that's the luckiest thing in the world. Not blind luck. These guys are talented. They work their asses off. But I'm saying, what an amazing thing to meet those people that end up being. It's John Lennon and Paul McCartney met at a certain, those guys all met when they were not even older teenagers, younger teenagers. Every now and again, man, some people just click at that age and it works. It's a miracle when it happens.
Yeah, and that those guys still get away with it so many years later. They don't have the full troupe together, but just that they're so well known. There isn't anyone, I don't know, except for, if we get into our parents that aren't down with Impractical Jokers, and they still get away with it, but they still must have some of the craziest fan interactions. I imagine when they're not shooting and that sort of thing. But yeah, still doing it, getting away with it. God bless them.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Speaking of still doing it and getting away with it, it's Father's Day weekend. We're all still hanging in there, young dads that we are. Yeah. KQ's Father of the Year 2023 is rocking and rolling at 92KQRS.com. Our 5 finalists have been selected. That's you, Tony, Zepp, you, Tony, you, Zepp, and me, and then me and Zepp got 2 votes. Sorry, that's the 5. No, I'm kidding. I'm stumbling all over that. Our 5 finalists who are not a part of this morning show have been selected. You can cast your vote at 92KQRS.com. KQ's Father of the Year 2023 will take home a brand new grill from Frattallone's Hardware, a grill kit. They will get tickets to see Kansas July 14th at the State Theater, LPs, CDs, and other assorted KQ gear. Man.
I mean,
wow, indeed.
I know. If we just, I like the vote system. That's the best way to do it, obviously. But wouldn't it be cool if we could have like a dad Olympics with those 5 guys? You've got to, I don't know, burn a burger on a grill.
Sure.
Chew out some. You got to chew out Candace for doing something wrong. I mean, I just tell dad jokes. That would be cool.
That is awesome. Go to 92KQRS.com for complete contest rules. Sponsored by Oak Ridge Dental. Do you have a Father's Day gift wish list at all, gentlemen? I will say this sincerely. Yeah. I never even think about Father's Day. Never even occurs to me that that's coming up.
I know, and I really put a lot of effort into Mother's Day. I really do.
Of course.
I mean, it's
same thing.
Mom's from back east. I fly seafood from her home base of Maine. Actually, it's Boston, but close enough. Yeah. But it's New England fresh, and I fly it out to the middle of South Dakota.
Nice.
Which is not an easy thing to do because Mom just doesn't get that seafood out of the middle of South Dakota, and she didn't for the entirety of us growing up because you couldn't get it out there unless you were a billionaire or something like that. So I get all elaborate with Mom, and Dad's like, "Oh shoot, it's 6 p.m. on Sunday. I got to remember I should maybe make a quick call." He used to get a Cabela's gift card, that was easy.
Well, what about you as a dad, though? Are you thinking about Father's Day ahead of time ever? Like, is there something like, I hope I get this for Father's Day?
I hope on Father's Day, I hope that's the day they don't call me and ask for money. That's the one day you can ask on Saturday or Monday for Mother's Day. But no, I don't know. I just, want to spend a little time with the kids, the quick chat.
Yeah.
They were just easy to please.
It's like The Godfather. No Sicilian can turn down a request on the day of his daughter's wedding.
Right.
And Zepp just doesn't want you to ask him for money on Father's Day.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, empires have been built on less.
Mm-hmm. Here's another commonality I think we all have here in Minnesota, perhaps on the planet. Everyone hates the Yankees. You'll not find Yankee hate any stronger than you will right here in Minnesota. So stick around, and we'll all listen to the Yankees announcer get hit in the face with a foul ball. It's a lot of fun. We're going to do that at 9 o'clock. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zepp, Tony, Candace, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Tuesday, June the 13th. And one thing you learn in radio is that Bad Moon Rising by CCR is a really short song. You got to learn that one quick, baby.
Yeah.
I came running back to this microphone when I realized that song had already started. Let's see. It is Tuesday, June the 13th. And it's always a good day to discuss anything going against the plans of the New York Yankees. Just as a quick baseball note, not just as a Twins fan, which I am slowly becoming. I mean, look, let's just call it what it is. I'm never going to be a Twins guy because I think that would be disingenuous. I will cheer for the Twins unless they're playing the Orioles. That's I can do that much.
Fair
I
enough.
can say that much.
Yeah.
I'm not going to walk around and act like I'm Johnny Twins because then people would look at me and go, "You're so full of it." So rather than that, I'll just come clean. I'm an Orioles guy first and foremost, and then I will cheer for the Twins. So as long as Baltimore's not here, let's go Twin Cities. We can all agree that we hate the Yankees.
See, if you just hate the Yankees, that's good enough. If you can come that far over, you're plenty good here.
And growing up an O's fan in division with the hated Yankees, of course, it's just a brutal thing. So my hatred of the Yankees, just to let you know, it extends to the broadcasting team. It extends to their fans. It extends to literally anybody that's ever even peripherally enjoyed anything about Yankee baseball. I detest everything about that franchise. So when I hear something like John Sterling, longtime veteran, fabled voice of the New York Yankees, when some malfeasance fell upon him, I genuinely just grin like a Cheshire cat.
And let's do that right now. I just wanted to add to that, Sterling. I was fine with John. John Sterling has been around for a little while. I'm not going to hate him. I hate the Yankees and the organization. But then a couple of years ago, when the Yankees knocked the Twins out again, he said something like, it's a shame it's got to be Minnesota. You think the Yankees could get some better competition around here. With that, John Sterling, take this.
Now the 3-2 swung on, a pop foul back here. Ow! 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 It really hit me. I didn't know it was coming back that far. That foul ball actually hit me. It kind of glanced off my forehead. So I took one for the team.
Are you okay, John?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
I am okay. Just a glancing blow.
Just a glancing blow.
One more time.
Now the
fun.
3-2 swung on, a pop foul back here. Ow! Ow! Ow!
That's great.
Yeah, that's the greatest ow in the broadcasting booth I've heard.
It's a 3-2. Bob Isaac back. Ow! It makes my day. What are you kidding?
I know. It's fantastic. And like I said, when he dropped that line, and we played it here as a motivation, just into the new season a couple of years ago. But yeah, well, it's just a shame we got the Twins again. It's going to be a quick sweep it out. I'm like, well, you jerk.
Just as a public service, we will always let you know if anything bad happens to anyone associated with the New York Yankees baseball club. You can count on that.
I'll have it.
Speaking of bad things happening that will turn into a Hollywood film, make no mistake about it. This story from Colombia, not South Carolina, but South America. Colombia, South America, this flight that crashed on May 1st, I believe, the date, a family, a woman from an Amazonian village called Araraquara, an indigenous tribe lives in this village, and a woman and her 4 children took a small plane. I don't know exactly why they were flying, but these are people who live in the rainforest in the Amazon. They are a member of a group called the Huitoto, an indigenous group. A woman and her 4 children had to take a small flight. The plane went down with engine failure deep in the Amazon. 40 days later, the 4 children of this woman were found alive. Now, she had died a few days into this ordeal. Injuries suffered during the plane crash. So you have a mom and her 4 kids in the Amazon. Plane goes down. The mom only survives the first few days. The children leave the crash site and survive, again, for 40 days before they're rescued. By the way, the oldest child is 13. The youngest celebrated its first birthday during this ordeal.
Mind-blowing.
So a 13-year-old kid kept her 2 younger siblings and an 11-month-old baby alive for 40 days in the Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, you can think of the drama that must have been going on in those first couple of days. Mom's still alive. She's incapacitated. She's very hurt. The children trying to survive. We've all heard how they survived on that bag of flour and some fruit and seeds that they found because, I mean, they were... they more than any one of us had a chance of survival. They had immunities there. But then the rescue dog, you found out about the rescue dog yesterday. When they're out looking from this past month, a rescue dog gets lost from its owners, handlers, the people who were using it. The kids find the rescue dog. The rescue dog's emaciated. They live together. The script is writing itself. I mean, it is. You talk about an amazing story, rescue and story of survival. It's. And we haven't heard it all yet, I'm sure.
The 13-year-old, the oldest child, who is in, the kids are all in a hospital now. They're all going to make it. She did say that it was her grandmother who had taught her what fruits were edible, how to find suitable water, what plants and animals to avoid. We're talking about an area full of snakes, venomous frogs, I mean, bad enough you've got snakes that are you got venomous snakes and constrictors and anacondas and stuff. You also have venomous amphibians, not just reptiles. You've got all kinds of plants that one bite will put you into a seizure. I mean, it's incredible. But this 13-year-old kid kept everybody alive. And like you said, Zepp, a rescue dog is sent out to find them. The dog gets lost, and the kids find the dog and keep it alive.
Yeah, and what's the name of the dog? Wilson.
Oh, come on.
A Belgian Shepherd named Wilson. Hollywood couldn't write this. Oh, and by the way, in this area of the Amazon, this time of the year, the rainy season, it averages 16 hours of rain a day.
16 hours every day.
Every 24 hours, 16 hours of rain. You've got that to deal with as well. It's, we can't even really understand the conditions.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say that they ate the dog to survive.
Well, hey, if it comes down to it,
I got to tell you, it's just an incredible story. I can't imagine one day. And literally think about one day, 16 hours of which it's raining on you in a rainforest, and you have nothing but, like you said, there's a bag of flour and some seeds, and then the rest of the jungle to go figure it out. Yeah, not a chance. The average, if anybody were going to make it through this ordeal, it probably would be some kids from an indigenous tribe that lives in the rainforest to begin with, but still 40 days without knowing that was possible, without any sort of supplies or anything. Just a truly incredible story.
Yeah, truly.
After an hour, we'd all probably be just like, enough with the bugs.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I have a bug bite still from Saturday that's driving me crazy.
That's exactly
just
right.
one.
We prefer our problems to be a little bit more, groundhog-ish, if you will. These are the kind of things that make our lives miserable. In Toledo, Ohio, also this just in, there's a groundhog explosion happening, apparently. An awful lot of people are living in a neighborhood. Groundhogs, they kind of come and go. They're like moles.
Yeah.
They'll turn up every few years and then they move on. But there are neighborhoods in Toledo that are truly being, like, people's yards are just being destroyed. Groundhogs dig in, they burrow, they have a whole tunneling system. They make your life a living hell. And thankfully, we have some audio of some people expressing their thoughts.
Any little hole, like, see up under that stair, they'll crawl, have more babies, and migrate. You got one, now you got 8. It's disgusting. They come around here digging up holes, you know what I mean? Like, ew.
But the groundhog problem is just insane. It costs like $150 just to set his trap up. And then for every one he caught, it was $60.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Listen, we have groundhogs all over the place in South Dakota. They're just prairie rats out there. There's one right there. Aren't they cute? They burrow into your neck and lay eggs. No, wait, that might be the ferret rat. But anyway, yeah, so you take care of them. You deal with them. There's a variety of ways to quickly take care of them. But in these urban areas like Toledo, you have other factors. There's humane organizations that you can't kill groundhogs, so they've set up a system now where it's an insane amount of money and work just to try and eradicate some of these groundhogs, and people don't have money to spend thousands of dollars to get rid of groundhogs. Just let them do it the old-fashioned way. Just start killing ground. Get the hoe out, get the 22 out. Whatever you got to do. But yeah, it's got to be a mess.
Clarification here: groundhog, same thing as a woodchuck. That's the same animal, right?
No. Woodchucks are bigger.
Oh, really?
And every year I get in this. I consider a groundhog, like out in South Dakota, the prairie dogs we called them. But I think groundhogs, are like. But I think woodchucks and groundhogs, aren't woodchucks a bit bigger than groundhogs?
They're both deadly.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm gonna Google it. You might be right. I don't know.
I've dealt with a lot of moles. They just trench the yards, just like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. You can watch the little ridge appear in your yard as they're burrowing through. My good friend here in the studio with me, Chauncey Gorman, he's chased a mole or two. Right, yeah. He's gone digging after one that was trenching our yard, as it were.
It says they are. The woodchuck belongs to the marmot family and goes by many names, including groundhog and whistlepig.
All right, the old whistlepig, yeah.
Oh, the whistlepig.
All right, so I was thinking of prairie dogs mostly. That's what we have out in South Dakota. The prairie dogs are a bit smaller, flicker tails, those kind of things. But, yeah. All right, yeah. Still, just as easy to kill.
Nothing.
Hammer to the back of the head.
We've all learned, it's the same, or a gopher, if you will, part of that same family.
Yep.
I assume we've all seen Caddyshack. Go at them at your own peril.
You greasy, grimy gopher guts.
One minute you're chasing the gopher, and the next you're destroying a golf course. These things happen.
That's right.
I would imagine if you're dealing with like those women in Toledo, if you've got a groundhog problem, there's nothing sexier than a dude showing up to rid your yard of groundhogs. I would think that the man doing that would suddenly take on a whole new set of qualities that he may never have been credited with before. Lovehoney.com is a website. They call themselves sex experts. recent surveys, they asked about what the 10 sexiest professions were. I don't see eradicator of nuisance ground mammals on this list. But the 10 sexiest professions, according to men, the number one sexiest profession, flight attendant.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Back in the day when airlines there was an air of mystery and luxury just associated with flight in general. You look at the 60s and just the Pan Am, first class lounge looks like Otter from Animal House's sex den. I get it. It was very sexy. These days, I'm surprised to hear that that's still something men find so attractive. The flight attendant, that is. Number 2 on the list, nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Then secretary. Then teacher. What are we trying to say here, fellas? We just like people to take care of stuff for us?
Yeah, duh. Of course.
Take notes for me. Remind me of when I have meetings and fix me when I'm broken.
That's how simple life is.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
That's what we find sexy.
Yes.
Police officer, doctor, bartender, maid, and singer also on the list of sexiest professions. Candace, it does not say radio morning lady on here. I'm sorry to say.
Shoot.
I'm just,
Well, it does say secretary, though.
Oh, boy.
I mean,
it's a push.
I do secretary-ish things.
Yeah.
So I'm sexy.
There's no getting around that. That's just what that is. But now, according to women, the 10 sexiest professions, according to women, number 1, firefighter.
Oh, yeah. Well, nothing superficial or stereotypical about that one.
No, it's because, they don't have to be super buff or super hot or anything. It's just, taking care of someone other than yourself.
Just wow, okay.
And growing a healthy mustache
and getting paid for it.
That was a fairly pointed jab,
right? I mean, they have their own calendars for God's sake.
Taking care of someone other than yourself.
Their choice. I don't know.
It's not their choice.
It's not the ins and outs. Usually, it's for charity. What, you hate charities now, Zep?
No, I don't hate charities.
Why do you hate giving?
I'm pretty sure because it hurts. I'm pretty sure they don't have to pose for the calendar. I don't know either.
Sure. Haven't you guys ever heard that givers gain?
Mm-mm. Yeah, givers are suckers.
Another sexy profession, according to women, police officer. Okay, sure. I guess protecting and serving. Doctor?
No.
Mechanic?
Yes.
I can see that. Anybody that keeps you moving, that's going to help. Paramedic, musician, electrician. Yes. Here's the one, though. Farmer. Candace.
Yeah.
Yeah? Woo! Farmer, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Someone to take care of my goats.
Okay, that's a shepherd. That's not a farmer.
If you're a farmer, you're probably good at goats.
That's a guy in lederhosen yodeling. Right. Okay, that's who takes care of goats. Would you like some chocolates, lady, while I walk your goats around the meadow?
Yes, I would.
These lederhosen are chafing my inner thigh.
Hot.
Jeez. Hot. I say farmer, and you go right to he'll take care of my goats. Nothing about feeding the world.
No.
Nothing about keeping everybody well fed. No, it's all about
you
my
got
goats.
enough goats, you can feed a lot of people.
That's very true. I tell you what, get some curry spices and a little stew, and oh man, we are talking Sears. That's good living right there. Sick. Number 10, sexy profession. According to woman on the list, number 10, lawyer. Okay, whatever.
That's weird.
The least sexy profession for both men and women, judge. Why judges? What's wrong with judges?
Well, they're older, I suppose. Authority, and they're very judgmental.
Do you not know? Yeah, well, but do you know how much Judge Judy's worth? Come on, that woman's like a billionaire.
Oh, God, yeah, and she'd be checking out on you. I'd take Judge Judy in a heartbeat. Yeah, what has she got left, a year?
You just go ahead and just make sure that you never get around to signing that prenup, man, and then you are going back living the farm life with all those billions.
Bring it.
Yeah, fair enough. At least we got a plan now.
You got to have a plan. Sometime I'll tell you the story about how I tried to get a ranching widow in Montana. It didn't work out. All right.
There's no time like the present, or maybe after this commercial break.
Maybe.
Hey, the KQ Morning Show is back, as is the KQ Karaoke Cruise. Why don't you join us as we cruise down the St. Croix River, belting out all of our favorite tunes? That's this Friday, June 16th. With Stillwater Riverboats. Get tickets at 92kqrs.com for a night of food, drinks, and music. sponsored by JTR Roofing. When last we checked in with As the KQ Morning Show turns, Zepp, you were saying something about romancing a bunch of rancher women out in Montana. What the hell was that?
That was not my intention.
I can't let that one drop. I'm sorry.
No, I was just doing a radio show out there, and this gal, 81 years old, owned a big ranching property, ranching widow. But not she didn't fall into it. I mean, she's a working ranching woman, real Montana gal.
Got it.
Anyway, it just sort of took a liking to what I did on the radio. Ended up out there riding some horses, and I thought to myself, yeah, maybe this is the way to go. Get out of this radio business, get into the ranching business, and at 81.
Suddenly, you're walking around with a Fix song in your head. One thing leads to another.
That's right. My sugar mama out there. But Mrs. G, we would just remain friends.
It's probably for the best.
Very much for the best, I think, probably. I'll let you know, as I'm still trying to gut it out here when I'm like 78 years old. And there's some other young buck sitting out on that 50,000 acres.
I don't know. Zepp just kept talking about the old rancher lady. We weren't sure what he was going on about. Better luck next time. Speaking of better luck next time, there are tricks apparently out there that can help you to become a luckier person. Have you seen this? Check this out.
Yeah.
If you win the lottery this week because of what you're about to learn, but please don't forget your old buddy Steve here. But 3 things people say you can make yourself luckier. One is just act like you're lucky. Optimists prepare better. Optimists put themselves in better situations than pessimists do. It's like optimists have a subconscious expectation that, I'm going to get where I want to be, so I better be ready when the time comes. Pessimists are thinking nothing will work out, so they're not ready when the time comes.
Yeah, right. You attract that energy.
All right. Well, I think, because if you're an optimist, you're like, I got a chance of winning this. I'm going to win this sucker, and you participate or buy the lottery ticket, as it were. And if you're a pessimist, nobody wins those. Sure, I got it. All right, that makes sense.
And even in smaller things, just along the way, you just assume things are going to go your way or luck will befall you. I'm convinced I will always find a parking space, no matter what I'm looking for. I will always find the space. And in fact, that's a part of this too. Have a short memory. If something unlucky happens, the best thing you can do is forget about it immediately.
All right, don't stew. All right.
Scientists say the best way to have lucky things start happening is to keep making smart bets. Scientists say the best way to have lucky things happening again is to keep making smart bets. But when things go against you, again, just forget it. Just get it out of there. It's like a relief pitcher. They say if you're a closer, you got to have a short memory because when you go blow it, you blow the lead, your team loses the game. Your success tomorrow depends pretty strongly on how quickly you can forget you didn't have your good stuff.
Yeah, right.
Just get in the game and keep it up. And then here's the last one. Shake up your routine. When you step out of your comfort zone, your senses become sharper and more random things will happen. That gives you more of a chance for unexpected luck or opportunity to come your way. I dig that. I like, shake up the routine, believe in yourself, forget when things go against you. I'm a pretty lucky guy.
You still get hit by a truck, but it just sounds like a better way to live.
Another way, my dad would have looked at this and said, so you're telling me to be a BS artist.
Yes.
That's how he would have looked at that entire list. And I would have said, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm telling you to do. The more BS you can swallow, the more BS you can put out in the world, the better luck you're going to get.
Right, especially if you're buying it yourself,
Well, sure.
Ignorance is bliss, they say, right? Just, go with it. Don't take it so seriously.
Well, at the end of the day, we're all pushing up daisies at some point. So, you might as well get what you can out of the ride and assume every time, I've said this before, every time I buy a lottery ticket, I think I'm going to win or lose 50-50. I don't. It's not 1 in 230 million. It's 50-50. Yes or no, in or out. And I prefer to assume I'm going to win. Every time I buy a lottery ticket, I do take that moment and I think to myself, okay, after taxes, what do they say? You get about a third. So if it's 200 million, I'm going to walk with about 60 mil clear. Yeah. Okay, good. Sure.
I'm not that good. See, I do the same thing. I think, okay, yeah. What am I going to do with that $10 million I'm going to win? But then I don't get the lottery ticket. See, you got to get the lottery ticket.
That's a key. It's
key.
A real important part of the process of winning the lottery is buying the ticket. Real big part. Father's Day weekend, this weekend, Father's Day is Sunday. A new poll, dads were asked what they want. Number 1 was simply a meal out.
Okay. By themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2, wine. Wine? Really?
Wine.
I wouldn't think that would be too far up on the list. Number 3, a well-thought day out. You need an itinerary? You want like a tour manager to show up?
Somebody else has to make the plans.
This is a high-maintenance dad.
I guess so. Number 4 is books. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm always up for another book to put by my bedside table, which I will not read. I was a voracious reader, and then over the last 10 years or so, the stack just gets higher, and I just don't get through them.
I know, but I do lie about it.
Oh, is that true?
I mean, somebody gives me a book, they circle back a year later. Oh yeah, it was great, fantastic, loved it.
Well, there's if I can think of it, there's a Japanese word, sundoku, Tsundoku, sundoku. The phenomenon of acquiring reading materials but letting them pile up in your home without reading them. I am a Sundoku champion now at this stage of the game.
Well, if you just say it like that, it really sounds impressive.
It does sound. Here's a good, craft beer is on the list of what fathers want for Father's Day.
Yeah.
I get that. Tickets to a game. Yes, sir. Yeah. And by the way, this Sunday, Father's Day, I will be at the Twins game, and I will be drinking a craft beer. So that's two for 10 right there.
Attaboy.
And a meal out. I'll get a hot dog while I'm there. What the hell? This is going to be a great day. Number 7, aftershave. No thanks.
Yeah, no, just don't get around to it like I used to.
Yeah.
Aftershave.
All right, screw it. The rest of this stuff, it's just whatever.
Tie, socks, what do we got? Nothing.
An all-inclusive holiday. That's the last holiday I like. I took one trip to an all-inclusive place where you eat meals at the same place every day, and you meet. It was what do you call it? It was a Club Med.
Oh yeah.
My wife and I went to a Club Med once, specifically because they offered scuba diving and a lot of you could dive every day. And a friend had gone and said, "No, it's so easy. You just go, and you don't have to think about restaurants. You don't have to make reservations. Everything's on this island. It's all right there, and you just go do it." And I felt like I was in jail.
You're trapped.
I felt trapped the entire time. I hated the idea of not being able to leave this compound and I just wanted to go explore an island and maybe wonder if this roadie chicken's going to make me sick or not. But I wanted to have that fear and that exhilaration of, island discovery myself. It was really boring to just be at a place where everything was provided for you. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah, same faces.
I mean, sit around and do the same. You don't do anything. They don't have anything really to do. I mean, occasionally they'll have an excursion. You can go out and do a little scuba diving. But yeah, I would call it hopping the wall. We're going to hop the wall. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, my first thing was I'm just not built for this I'm just not built for this world. That's all there is to it. And that might make me a jerk, but that also says a lot about why I've never been and never will be on a cruise. Just can't stomach the thought.
Yeah, you're just trapped on there.
Yeah, no.
Unless, of course, you're working it as your band.
Never going to happen.
Rock and roll cruise. Come on, Steve.
No. The only thing worse than that to me is it's like saying, would you like to be stuck on an elevator with some of your fans?
Yeah, right.
No.
$1 million.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I can be bought for everything's got a price.
That's right.
Trust me. The minute someone says this is $1 million cruise, I don't ask when or where. I just say send me the ticket. Yeah. No. But up until then, we still gotta. We still gotta. Remember that. You can get Legionnaire's disease in your own home, and that'd be much more comfortable there. Just saying. Hey, let's look back, shall we? How about we have ourselves a history lesson? It is June the 13th. In 1970, on June 13th, a pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates named Doc Ellis met with the media to discuss the fact that the day before, June 12th, he had thrown a no-hitter in San Diego. What he told the assembled sports media came as a bit of a shock, and this is what he said. "Well, I thought I was pitching tonight, the 13th. I didn't know I was going to start yesterday, the 12th. So yesterday, the 12th at noon, I took a hit of LSD."
Yeah.
And then I took the mound that night and pitched a no-hitter while on acid. Doc Ellis was tripping balls, as they say, when he threw a no-hitter in 1970. After the game, the next day, he said, "I can only remember bits and pieces of the game. I had a feeling of euphoria. I was zeroed in on the catcher's glove, but I know I didn't hit it that often. I remember hitting a couple of batters. Sometimes the ball felt too small. Sometimes it was really big." Standing on a pit, the ball feels big, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it at 100 miles an hour or darn close to it. He also said, I chewed my gum until it turned to powder.
Did it actually turn to powder? We don't know. We don't know. That's crazy.
And then my favorite, they say I had 3 or 4 fielding chances. I remember diving out of the way of a ball that I thought was a line drive. I jumped, but the ball wasn't hit hard, and it never reached me.
Oh, I'd love to see that footage.
Yeah, no kidding.
Incredible.
Watching it after the fact. Was it A.J. Brzezinski? He caught for the Twins before he went to the Sox, but I think it was just a day or two ago. He talked about Mark Burley pitching drunk in the 2005 World Series.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. By the way, Doc Ellis, the coolest thing he ever did wasn't throw a no-hitter on acid. The coolest thing came later when, after a Pirates-Cincinnati Reds bench-clearing brawl happened, Doc Ellis got the start the next day. And before the game, he said, I'm going to hit every last Red I face. And he got up, and in the first inning of the game, he hit the first 3 batters on 11 pitches and was immediately ejected from the game.
Yes.
He called his shot and did it. That, my friends, was a badass.
The KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.